Today we're going to break down a simple story from a fourth grade textbook. Now, on the surface, it seems like just a sweet little tale about a boy and his pet goat. But if you look just a little bit closer, you'll see how it's actually this masterclass in teaching some of life's biggest lessons in the simplest, most powerful ways.
It all kicks off right here with this picture of just pure joy. You've got a boy, his goat, and not a care in the world. But, like in all good stories, a simple desire is about to put this simple life and his character to a major test.
All right, first things first, let's meet our heroes. We have China, a young boy, and his beloved pet goat, Tara. Their friendship, this bond they have, it's really the emotional heart of this whole lesson.
So the book makes China someone you can totally relate to. He's in fourth grade, he's a bright kid, loves to read, your classic curious kid. And his absolute best friend in the entire world? His 5-month-old pet goat. This connection is what makes everything that happens next so important.
Okay, so now we get to the juicy part, the real heart of the conflict. A super simple wish for his friend Tara is about to send China into this moral maze. And this isn't just one problem. Nope, it's a two-part test of his honesty.
It all starts with this moment of discovery. Chen is in a local shop, and bam, he spots them. These beautiful, shiny, tinkling bells. And right away he knows. He's got to get them for Tara. You can almost hear them jangling just by looking at the picture, can't you?
And here it is, the price tag. 10 rupees. Now that might not sound like a lot, but for a fourth grader, that's a pretty big deal. This number, 10 rupees, becomes the key to this entire conflict.
So Chinna reaches for his money. And you know that horrible sinking feeling you get in the pit of your stomach? Yeah, that's what he feels. It's gone. The money his grandfather gave him has just vanished. And the dream of getting those bells for Tara is completely crushed. He walks home just feeling awful.
But then the story throws a curveball. He's at the market with his mom, and when she buys some fruit, the seller makes a mistake. He hands Chinna exactly 10 rupees too much. All of a sudden, the lost money is basically replaced. The only problem is, it's not his money. And boom, this is it. The moment of truth. He whispers to his mother, and he lays the temptation out so perfectly, right? He acknowledges it's a mistake, but immediately his mind goes to what he could get with it. The bells, maybe even some chocolates? The fight inside his head is now out in the open for his mom to see.
This moment of temptation totally shifts the focus of the story. It stops being just about a kid's problem and turns into a parent's opportunity to teach. Chinna is at a fork in the road, and it's his mother, Kamala, who's going to help him figure out which way to go.
Now, what's really clever here is what happened before they even got to the market. When Chinna came home all sad about his lost money, his mother didn't scold him, not at all. She comforted him and even promised to give him the money for the bells later. See, she built this foundation of trust and empathy before the real test even showed up.
And this right here is the masterstroke of her lesson. She doesn't just order him to return it. She connects it back to his own feelings of loss. She asks him to imagine how the fruit seller would feel, using empathy as the heart of her argument. It's just such a powerful and gentle way to guide him to the right decision.
So China runs back and returns the money. And what does he get in return? Not a reward, not a discount, but something much more valuable: praise. The fruit seller calls him an honest boy, giving him this positive label that really reinforces his good choice.
And only then, after he has made the right choice for all the right reasons, does he get the bells. His mother, proud of his integrity, follows through on her promise and buys them for him. The lesson here is so clear. Honesty comes first, and the rewards follow.
So the story itself has a neat resolution, but for the textbook, the story is just the hook. Now we're going to see how that simple narrative is transformed into a full-blown educational tool, covering everything from vocabulary all the way to complex ethics. First, they start simple. The book pulls out a tiny detail from the story, that Tara is a kid, and uses it for a quick vocabulary lesson. It connects the biological term for a baby goat to the word kids already know, making it memorable and, honestly, kind of fun.
Then it gets a little more complex. The lesson pivots to grammar. As you can see, it introduces comparative and superlative adjectives using the simple table. And look how it does it. It grounds the abstract rule, add R for two, est for a group, in the story's familiar characters. It's a brilliant way to make grammar feel way less intimidating.
And this is the final leap, and it's brilliant. After vocabulary and grammar, the textbook circles all the way back to the story's central theme, morality. But it doesn't just state the lesson. Oh no, it challenges the student to apply it. The first scenario is simple and super relatable. You broke a friend's pen. This is a low-stakes version of Chinna's dilemma, forcing the student to choose between hiding a mistake or owning up to it.
Then the pressure increases. Now it's not just about honesty, but it's also about peer pressure. Your friends are asking you to cheat. The right answer here is a lot more socially complicated, isn't it?
And finally, the most complex one. You witness a wrongdoing. This question tests loyalty versus integrity. Do you stay silent to protect a classmate, or do you speak up to uphold the rules? There's no easy answer, and that's exactly the point.
So, we've seen the story, the vocabulary, the grammar, and these tough ethical dilemmas. What is the ultimate takeaway? What's the true reward the book wants its readers to understand?
This brings us to the core lesson. Yes, Chinna got the bells in the end, but the story is so carefully structured to show that the bells are a consequence of his honesty, not the reason for it. The true reward was the praise, the pride, and that internal feeling of just doing the right thing.
The lesson ends by turning the mirror on the reader. For Chinna, the price of his honesty was 10 rupees, a price he was willing to pay. The final question, then, is a personal one. What is the price of your honesty? It's a simple question from a children's story, but it's one that stays with you long after you close the book.